Hotep, peace and blessings, namaste. It's Brother Kundalini coming at you again. I want to talk about the three-step colonization of our people. It started off with the colonization of Africa. And as Public Enemy stated back in the 80s, we lost our religion, our culture, and our God. And many of us, by the way we act, we even lost our minds. One of the most powerful lines in hip-hop by Public Enemy, they said it back in then. And the first step towards colonizing African people was stripping them of their spiritual system, what you call religion. So the colonization began in Africa, and then it migrated on into the Caribbean. That's part two of the colonization. And they started colonizing the Caribbean and further stripping them of the African presence. And then the final stages is the Black American, the American in black, the black people in this country, a country where slavery is older than America. Slavery was found in 1619, America is 1776, and the emancipation was 1865. So this clearly shows you that slavery is older than America. For all you diehard Americans, that's the third step towards the colonization. And now we have gone into racial discrimination, going from slavery to segregation, and now it has now been converted to gender. Now the fight is with gender. How the hell race and gender now become opponents of one another? When you start giving, and this is not the, I preach no hate, I teach no hate, I don't hate gays and lesbians. But I'm going to say that that struggle has nothing to do with the struggles of racial struggle. Well, those are two separate things. And today you see men acting like women and women acting like men. This comes as a result of feminism. The feminist movement, which came about during the 60s, stopped the racial fight that we were having for equality. So this is the really the final stages to eliminate the black man. The black man is the key component to be eliminated because of our ability to impregnate and populate more black people, which is why they give all the black women the jobs, which is why they incarcerate the black male, which is why they kill the unarmed black men. And y'all see a large number of black men getting locked up and serving time for crimes they didn't even commit. Brothers serving 15, 20 years for crimes they didn't even commit. So what they did was they used the feminist movement, and they're using our women to destroy us. The women rule the jobs, the women rule the courts, the women rule the families, the women rule everything. And that's why our families are where they're at today. I'm talking about the overall structure of our family. The black woman, instead of using her credentials to uplift her black men, she's using the credentials for herself, which is what feminism taught her. So now, that's why we're at the state that we're at now. Our families are destroyed as a result of feminism. Anytime you have black women acting like men and black men acting like women, this shows you falsified characteristics of male behavior. And this is all by design, even in the hip-hop world. And it all started with stripping you of your spiritual religious system. I'm on Facebook and a woman tell me I teach history and all that. I'll say, ma'am, you do not have the credentials to teach history. I have a degree in history. What are your credentials? What qualifies you to teach? You don't have any credentials whatsoever. And our people need to stop listening to these people who are not qualified to teach. If you read a book on surgery, that don't make you a surgeon. You got to go to medical school. You read a book on law, that doesn't make you a lawyer. You got to go to law school. You have to further your studies. You have to be professional in these fields. A woman that's not even qualified to teach history and kept debating with me. I said, ma'am, I'm not going to debate with somebody that's not qualified in this field of study. And then when she told me you got to turn to the church, I really knew that she didn't have no credentials to teach no damn history, because you need to study the history of Christianity. Stop quoting scriptures. You need to study the history of Christianity and where it came from. Religions come out of civilization. Civilizations don't come out of religion. So don't tell me about no religion if you don't study the civilization from which it came. This is very important. This all plays into the colonization of African people. And then you sit around and black people call themselves African American. Well, why are you African American and you don't study anything or know anything dealing with African history? And then I was at the gas station and an African came up to me and told me, you need to find Jesus. This is a man from the continent where everything started. So I saw how powerful the colonization is. You have people here in America like me trying to get to the African origins, and you have Africans trying to get to the watered down American. So how the heck you got Americans trying to find Africa and Africans wanting to be American? That shows you how backwards and how much the colonization process has destroyed us as a people. You got three layers of this stuff. First the African, then the Caribbean, then the American. So we're all in the same boat, and none of us are searching for this information the way we should. You know, which is why I have the problems I have with my female, with my sisters. You know, you're not going to convert me to this religion that destroyed everything about us. Let me repeat, Public Enemy said it clear. We lost our religion, our culture, our God, and many of us, by the way we act, we even lost our minds. And all that is with drugs, gender rights, all that stuff ties into what I'm speaking about. All this is a form of colonization. We're destroyed, and it's getting worse. It's not getting better. It's getting worse. Many of our scholars are dying. Many of our scholars have put out all this information and being ignored. I was talking to a sister from Howard University. I was taking her to the airport, and I was like, do you ever heard of Anthony Broder? She graduated. She's a junior at Howard. I'll say, Anthony Broder is a Howard alum. You know, we have all these scholars putting out all these books, and none of the students is reading this information, which show you how the lack of history is a big part of why we lost our religion, our culture, and our mind. If you don't study and read the information for yourself, you ain't never gonna learn. All this stuff with Christmas and a holiday. Do you even know the origin of Christmas? Do you even know what this stuff really means? What is the metaphysical breakdown of this? And I had a sister who invited me to an event called the Winter Solstice. And I asked the sister, I said, I need your permission